So I'm back now. I've made several dragon scales that I'm going to show you how to attach to the wreath frame. In this particular wreath, the person requested black as their primary color, so that means black on both the outside rungs and the innermost rungs, and the blue between the two. So, well, I don't layer it like that, but it's going to look like that. Now you can see on the wreath frame, I made this myself. The very top of it is where you're going to attach the scales to. This is white mesh grid, so if I accidentally refer to it as mesh, this is what I'm talking about. It's the white grid that I attached to this. It's not really mesh. You can see on the other side there are raised bars. That would normally be the front of your wreath, but in this case this is going to be the back, okay? So for now, you know, ignore the raised bars. That's going to be facing the wall. The part that you want to attach the scales to is the flat white mesh grid surface. Okay, so you're going to want to get your zip ties ready. And you're going to want to start basically anywhere. I'm just going to start here because it looks like a good place to start. And like I said, what was requested before was black on the outside, then blue, and black again. So I'm going to take my zip tie. I'm going to go where the circle has been drawn. You can see 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. That's where it's going to be, the line of black, blue, and then black again. And then as you move on, you just follow the dots, basically. So, I'm going to go here. I'm going to feed my zip tie down. And I'm going to feed it back up through the white grid. I'm going to go over about 1 or 2 bars. It doesn't really matter. As long as you're tight enough when you pull the zip tie. Okay, so I'm going to want to put this down where this zip tie meets right underneath the one that I'm going to zip tie tight right now. I want to put this zip tie above my first zip tie to make sure that it's secure and steady. And pull it nice and tight. I'm going to, there we go. And I've attached the first one. So the way I attached it is with the 2 pockets. You remember the pockets that we glued shut? These 2 pockets face in towards the center of the wreath, okay? So this is what it's going to look like. Okay, and I'm going to take my next zip tie. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to find where I drew the dot. I'm going to feed the zip tie through one of the holes. Back up a couple grids over there. And I'm going to take my blue, which is my middle color. I'm going to put the zip tie down just below where this new zip tie is, because again, I want that to be nice and tight. I don't want it to pull out. Okay, to zip tie it nice and tight. show you the innermost now. So this is what I have so far. And, you know, from here, you know, down, you're not going to be able to see. Now, as you go along, you can also trim these before you start. You can trim them as you go. I think just for, after I do this one, I'm going to trim them up just so you can see what I'm doing a little bit easier. Okay, so I'm going to find the dot. Move a couple little white grids over. Take a black one. Make sure the two pockets that are glued together, make sure they're facing towards the center of the wreath. And put the innermost scale on. You want to zip tie it above this one so it's nice and tight. Okay, so there you go. There is your very first row. That's how it looks. And like I said, I'm going to trim this and I'm going to put one more row on for you. Okay, as you can see, I have 2 rows of dragon scales put on here. I'll show you one more time just to make sure you really got it down, okay? So, for each row of scales, you're going to follow where I drew the dot. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3. So, on this particular wreath, this person requested black, blue, and black. So, that's what we're going to do. We're going to start on the outside and work our way in. So, I'm going to take my zip tie. I'm going to find my dot. I'm going to feed my zip tie through. And I'm going to feed it back up through the white grid a couple of bars away. And I am going to attach this black one. I'm going to put the zip tie down just below where the zip tie is that I'm tightening now. Pull tight. I'm going to do the same thing in the middle. I'm going to find my middle dot here. Feed that through. Again, I think I said, you know, it doesn't matter, you know, if you hook around the bar or not. Just make sure that you're around a couple bars of the white grid. Get tight. Okay, and one more. My final dot there. Move over 1 or 2 bars. Okay. And this is how it should be looking now. You can shift accordingly, but now you'll see, you know, what parts show, what parts don't. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to keep putting more on, and then I will be back.